Oh, that one speaks up when I'm about to make a fool of myself. That one just is afraid of foolishness. And then you just name them all. It's kind of fun because once the thing is named, it's out in the open. It's the pressure is relieved, and it's lovely. And part of the importance of doing this is because we're looking to develop more trust in our inner environment so that we can have the courage to follow the part that is intuition and not the voice of my culture and my mom and my fears. And on top of that, additionally, some folk experience their intuition through their bodies, or they would if they were more in touch with their bodies. If they were in touch with their bodies, they would begin to notice the range of messages that are from subtle to extreme that come through our bodies that say, pay attention. Look at this. Because, we metaphysicians, we run the risk of being too much in our heads, too mental, always thinking about our thinking, then wondering about what our thoughts about our thinking will produce, and then journaling about it, then making a plan, and then thinking through that. While all the while there are additional resources available to us, including our bodies, which can instruct us so beautifully. And for some people, that's exactly where intuition shows up first. Their first experience of pay attention shows up in their body as a feeling or as a sensation or something even hard to name. I remember once going off to an appointment, driving off, and I had some questions in my heart about the appointment, and I noticed as I was driving there, I started to get extremely tired, and I had no reason to be tired. It was midday. I was alert, awake just a moment ago. I wasn't ill, but I noticed it was as if my body didn't want me to go, so it was trying to go to sleep. Now, I should have paid attention because it wasn't a good appointment for me to be at. It was the wrong thing to be involved in. And I noticed that, and it gave me an opportunity later to examine that process of getting tired when I shouldn't be. And I noticed through a process of examination that I often get tired and start to yawn when there is fear present. Every single time I have to speak in public, I start to get tired. Really, every morning I feel myself wanting to go to sleep because my body wants to get away from here. You can be in conflict with yourself in moments like that. When I'm going to have a difficult conversation, as the time is getting closer, I feel more and more drowsy. My body, and so I notice I can now pay attention. When I start to yawn and feel tired, I can ask, what is there to pay attention to here? Sometimes it's just ordinary natural fear. You get that. Sometimes it's something to pay attention. Don't go there. And it's given me a tool. It's helped me to pay attention when I'm experiencing unusual fatigue. What do I need to look at? And one problem I've noticed is that it can be difficult to feel the messages of your body if you've grown apart from it, or you've forgotten that you have one. Or you treat it like something that's just stuck to you and you wish it wasn't there. Oh, metaphysicians. Yes? Just a few of you know what I mean. But the good news in my experience is that the body will spring back into willingness and communication with just, the littlest bit of encouragement. Just the littlest bit. Drink more water. Give it nourishing food. Have adequate rest. Sleep enough. Give your body pleasure frequently. Admire it. Thank it. Look at it. Groom it. Is that getting uncomfortable in here? Yeah. us metaphysicians, we have no bodies. You know, but to develop a sense of intuitive living means having a relationship with both our inner world and our outer world, and with our bodies developing a mutually beneficial, mutually nourishing relationship. So you can be available to those times when the message comes through that some people call it a gut feeling. It describes that odd sensation that they get somewhere over here when their intuition is speaking, and it's not just they've got indigestion. But how do you know the difference? It's like those inner worlds. How do you know the difference if you never give it any attention, any time? And you know, some people have become so unfriendly towards their body, they just drag this thing around. Maybe it doesn't want to speak to them, or is too afraid to. I mean, they criticize their bodies as they look at it in the mirror, wishing it looked like something else, accusing it for getting old, like it shouldn't. And the result is the lines of communication are down. So for some people, the courage to follow their intuition starts first with opening that back up, establishing communication, developing a relationship, learning to listen and to love. Don't you know, love and appreciation will open up channels of communication like nothing else on the planet. Generally speaking, learning to live an intuitively guided life is more like an art than it is a system of do this, do that, a method with rules. It's like art. And I say it's like art because art, like drama and dance and music and poetry, it depends entirely on what you put into it. It cannot give you anything without your input. The painting won't paint itself. Oh, you can buy somebody else's painting. That's good too. It's inspiring. You can watch somebody else dance. That's good too. It's very inspiring. But you're not going to get the experience until you get up, paint, dance, sing, or do whatever the thing is. Same with intuition. You can let somebody else's intuition guide you. That's when we get people who are by our own doing placed higher than we are, and then they are the only conduit through which God can speak, and you're nothing. That hasn't worked too well for us. And for the average person, learning anything like art, for example, it takes time. Because now you're learning to do something that's not normal to you, so to speak. It's a whole new set of ways of being. And so you got to practice it. And in the beginning, it's frustrating and you're prone to mistakes. And it's uncomfortable and awkward. You may not even look good. You may get it wrong. Same with intuition. In the beginning, it's prone to mistakes. You don't know your way around. You could look awkward, could make some mistakes, could result in accidents. And so it is so wise to begin with small steps. And build confidence over time before you take the biggest issues of your life and now I'm going to apply intuition. Meanwhile, all the time you've been living in your head, disconnected from your body. Now you want intuition to come in and solve this big problem. I've seen that. And the result is not good. Sometimes people have very disappointing results because they haven't done any of the groundwork. No relationship with intuition, and so now they become even more distrusting. So I recommend start easy. And that way you can experiment with what is the feeling of being nudged from inward. And what happens if I take, for example, one day at the fair, for example, and I arrive without an agenda, without a plan, and I let myself be guided where to turn, what to do. See what happens. You don't stand, the stakes are not high. You don't stand to lose much. You could get lost, but not for too long. But you're not going to risk your whole family, your whole well-being. And at the same time, you're practicing small steps. You might begin to feel and experience the freedom of following life. The joy of that part. And over time, you could expand on that. What is it like to follow a nudging that says to me, do something that is out of